What up, guys? Jason Geiman here with King of Pressure Washing, PressureWashUp.com. And tonight I want to talk about Christmas lights and what we can do in the wintertime. Wintertime is just around the corner, and we are not too far away from the old man winter. So, how we got some people from Australia in here. Let's go, he says. And if you have any questions like this here, please put them up and I will answer them once we get going here. But we got Jason saying can't wait and all that good stuff. So this week I have been, me and my wife got in a dispute and she got me in the eye. Not really. I have an eye duct that got clogged and got all infected, and it's been kind of funky here lately. So yeah, I've got the funk guy going. So, but it's all right. It's all good. Things happen. I've been trying to shoot a bunch of video with only one eye, and the bad part about it is that's my good eye. I don't. I actually have lazy eye. This eye here is lazy eye. When I was growing up, it would always go. It was buried into the corner. I had a surgery to pull it out, and then I had the surgery to push it back in. And so, if I get real tired, sometimes if you paying attention on here, if I'm a little tired, one of my left eye will kind of wander out in space. So it is what it is. So that's what happens when you get old, I guess. But actually, I was born with it. I wore glasses from the time I was 10 months old all the way up to 20. And then I had surgery when I was 20. And that's kind of how that happened. So it is kind of, it is fun. So when I started my business in 2012, I started and I made decent money. I made decent money my first year. I think I did around 35,000 in pressure washing, and then Old Man Winter came, and when Old Man Winter came, it was like, man, what am I going to do to get through winter? So that was my first year. And in 2013, I did well. I believe I did around 70,000 my second year in 2013. Come old man winter. This time I had saved up over the year and I had put $10,000 back and $10,000 in my savings account. And so that way I could get through winter because here comes old man winter. November in this area, November you can't work. December you can't work. January you can't work. February you can't work. March you might be able to work. It's not a guarantee. Like this past March here, local, was not a good March for a lot of people because we still had cold weathers and stuff like that. And so that's why I would save up 10 grand, put it in the bank in my savings, so that way I could pull. That gives me 5 months to add $2,000, so that way I could get through old man winter. So when I did that, it was a struggle, and it's like, man, I want to grow my business. I want to get it to the next level. I want to start hiring employees, and I'd hired a few, and you can't hire anybody and let them go in the wintertime and think that the most time they're not going to come back 4 or 5 months later because they've been on unemployment all that time. And so it was a struggle, and it was one of those struggles that it was like, what can I do for wintertime? And I added gutter cleaning, and I had a local guy here that, I mean, he was doing $200,000 just in gutter cleaning alone. And just doing gutter cleanings here in the greater Cincinnati for a couple months. And he was doing 200 grand just in gutter cleaning. I'm like, but that still don't get me through the wintertime. What can I do to get through wintertime? So in 2014 come around, and I'd hired a couple guys and hired a buddy or two and started hiring people. And of course, you know, when you're in that very beginning, you don't know how to hire people. You don't have the systems in place. You trial and error, and you hire them and you fire them. And one of the guys I had hired, actually, I was at work, and because he was going to start running the truck when I was actually start running the truck, and I was going to run another truck when I was available. And he pulled up to the job, and he got all the stuff there, and he couldn't get the gun disconnected. And so instead of calling me or calling whoever, he sat in his truck, and the owner called us and was like, "Your dude's been sitting here for like 25 minutes just sitting in the truck." So my business partner went over to the house, and he went there, and the dude just sitting there, and we're like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he's like, "It won't work." And he's like, "And you've been sitting here for how long?" For it's been about an hour at this point. And so he went, and he was like, "Screw it, I'm leaving, I quit, I'm walking." So he just left the truck there and started walking back. He was 20, 30 minutes away from the shop, and it's like, dude, what's going on? So dealing with employees is always fun, but then here comes I knew winter time was coming in 2014. And so I went to the huge convention, and this one was in down in Nashville at the shoot, I don't remember what it's called, that big place down there in Nashville. And so we went there, and we was walking around looking at the booths, and Josh Latimer was there with Street Bitter. This is when Sin Jim and that was called Street Bitter. This was when it first rolled out. So he was standing there talking about Street Bitter. And when he was talking about Street Bitter, he was going through the app, and he's like, I got these cards for the mailers, because Street Bitter was to send out postcards, and it had Christmas lights. And I was like, "Are you doing Christmas lights?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're going to try to do Christmas lights. There's some other people doing Christmas lights that have been successful and stuff like that." And I was like, "Can you make any money at it?" And he's like, "Man, these guys are making a killing." So I come back, and I start trying to learn about Christmas lights. And I talked to some local guy. I had a local buddy here that was a landscaper, and he's like, "Man, there ain't no money in Christmas lights. You're going to lose your tail. There is no money in Christmas lights." He's like, "I've tried it 2 years in a row, and I've lost my tail." And so I was like, "Really? Well, this guy over here's telling me that there's money in it, and you're telling me there's not." And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to try." So I started trying to figure out how to do it, and I started studying it just like I did pressure washing, start figuring out the Christmas light things. So I found a class. I went up to Chicago, and there was a guy that at that time, that year that I had learned, he had did over $700,000 in Christmas lights, and this was in 2014. He also owned a cedar roof cleaning company, so that was what he did in the summertime. And so he went and did this in the wintertime of Christmas lights. And so I went up there to learn how to do Christmas lights. Now, some things that I learned from him was the biggest thing was marketing. He bought every lead he could, no matter what. And yes, you're right. It was the Gaylord Opryland Hotel down there. And so he had bought every lead he could get. And he not only bought every lead he had a website. He actually had two websites. He had AdWords. He was sending out postcards, and he was doing all of these different things to get leads, not just one form of leads. And so that was the biggest thing. I also learned how to do Christmas lights. Well, I got to watch how to do Christmas lights. They installed a house, and we just watched how it went. So we come home, and the first year we're trying to get leads, and it was October, and the place we had kind of learned from, they're like, "We'll send you leads, we'll do all this stuff." And October came around, no leads. Middle of October, no leads. November 1st comes around, no leads. So that's when we went and what we had learned up there, and we had bought a bunch of signs. I started tinkering around with AdWords, and that's kind of how I learned the hard way of AdWords. And so my very first year, I had did right at $39,000 in Christmas lights in 2014. Now that was we wasn't very profitable that year. I wasn't, because I was just trying to get jobs. I was just trying to get jobs up, and I was like, well, I'll make my money next year. And so 2014 rolled around. I did $40,000. It was about 38,000, I believe it was. 38,000 my very first year, and I was like, this ain't bad. So that got me through January or through December. And then obviously February or January, I took them back down, and we had started. And from there, well, with that business, from 2014 to 2017, we did 250, or wait a minute, 2018, the year I sold the business, we did $250,000 in Christmas lights. And then 2019, which was the year later after I sold the business, I stayed on helping, doing safety, and just kind of helping in any way I could. And I did all the marketing. And in 2019, Christmas Lights Cincinnati did $500,000 in Christmas lights. And so that was pretty cool to see that there's that kind of money in Christmas lights. So Christmas lights can be very profitable. I know a lot of times people think that Christmas lights, is it, one of the questions I get is it hard? And no, it's not hard. Christmas lights is not hard. Now, there is some things that you have to be able to overcome and to be able to do it. First off, you can't be afraid of heights, or you got to be able to find somebody that is not afraid of heights. If you are afraid of heights, Christmas lights is probably not for you. But Christmas lights can be a great moneymaker. Christmas lights is a lot of fun. I remember doing my first, I should have showed the picture of my very first job. It looked like crap. I mean, it wasn't my first job, but it was one of my first jobs that I remembered very well. We did the house, we did a tree, and we did another tree. Well, the tree looked like crap. I mean, I didn't put enough lights on it, and it looked like crap. It literally looked like crap. I would be very probably embarrassed to show it up here. But the little girl came home, and this was one of those nights where I'm working late because I didn't know how to install quickly, and it was my first year, and I laddered every house of those 30 of the 38. I did 39 houses, and out of those 39 houses, I had laddered 38 of them. So it was kind of one of those things that, it is what it is, of getting up there and being scared to death. So if you're afraid of heights is one thing that you do have to overcome to be able to do Christmas lights. Now, the biggest thing with Christmas lights is our mindset. Our mindset is what will help you be successful in selling Christmas lights. I actually did a live I have a Christmas light channel at christmaslightshelp.com/YouTube if you want to go subscribe to it. And I have somebody on every Monday night. I do a live. And I had Nicholas Yalls on. He started last year. He came down to my training last year, and he did 6 figures his very first year. And so with that said, he was saying that Christmas lights really sell themselves. This is one of those things that people, if they want them, they're going to spend the money on it. Now, there is a hard part of selling Christmas lights. There is a part of people that will not buy them, and that's why we pre-qualify the people that are selling, that we are going to sell Christmas lights to. That is why when we answer the phone, we're going to talk about the service, and we're going to tell them how it's a all-inclusive service, and we're going to show them, and we're going to let them know that, you know, our minimum is $600, $800, $1,000, and our average ticket is $1,800. And when we tell them that, people are going to have one of two reactions. They're going to say, "Oh my God, that is way, you are crazy." Or they're going to say, "Okay, I will buy that." And so that is what we want. That's the answer we want to hear. And when we hear that, it's usually not going to be right away. Usually it's going to take a little bit of time for them to be able to answer that question. So, you know, then these are some things that we get to do with Christmas lights. So, Rob said Jason can reach one-story houses without ladders. Jason, you're funny, Rob. I'm not that tall quite. I can do actually my own house without a ladder because it's actually not that tall. So I can do that one. But ladders, you do have to be able to get on ladders. So that is one thing that you have to be able to do. And you will want to find somebody that can do this well for you. Another thing that we have to learn is there's a lot, you get told no a lot. And so if you have thin skin and can't be told no a lot, this is going to be a hard service for you. The close rate is not very high. I have people that close rate is all the way down to 10%. And most people are about 20 to 22, 25%. 25% is usually on the high side. And the people that are 25% are usually pretty cheap. And what they don't realize is being cheap isn't always good. Again, it's about raising our prices, keeping our prices up. And that way we can be profitable and we can be successful. You know, if we're taking risk, the more risk we take, the more we should be paid. And that's just part of it. You know, if we have to use big ladders, or we have to use tie-offs on roofs, and we have to use different tools to get on roofs, then there's a risk that we're taking. Last year, there was a guy that fell off the roof and died. You know, and if you're doing Christmas lights for cheap because you're just doing it for cheap because you're just trying to make a little bit of money, then that's not going to be so good for you. You know, the last thing I want you to do is to do stuff unsafe. You know, and a lot of times I hear people, "Well, you can do this house in 45 minutes. Okay, you can do it in 45 minutes, but is that doing it safely in 45 minutes? Or are you taking large risk that one little oopsie and you're dead?" You know, your family is worth a lot more with you than without you. And so unless you have big insurance policies, that's going to pay you to do that. But yes, there is one of the, you know, there is the risk of falling off. So when we're dealing with this stuff, we have to make sure that we are charging enough for those risks. We're using electricity, and yes, you can die from 120. It's not very rare, not very often, but yes, you could die from 120. And so there's more risk of getting shocked, electrical shocks, stuff like that. So just keep this in mind when we are dealing with Christmas lights. Christmas lights are a lot of fun. They are very, very, very profitable. It is probably one of the biggest profitable things that I know of. In the service industry as a whole, I don't know of too much any other services out there that is profitable as profitable as Christmas lights. So Christmas lights is crazy, crazy profitable. And so it is a luxury service, and we sell it as a luxury service. And so that's what makes it so profitable. So if you all have any questions, you can start putting your questions in there, and I will start answering those questions also. But again, if you want to go check out christmaslights.io, that's my Christmas light website. Right now, the online training is actually in my other membership. That will be going away as long as I can get it all up on September 20th or somewhere within that range. And I will have christmaslights.io will have its whole Christmas light training. It's going to be a whole online university, basically. It's going to have everything from how to market, what ladders you need, how to set it up, how to do it. And if you would like to do the in-person training, the in-person training is at christmaslights.io, and you go in-person training. And there, we will be in Raleigh on September 17th and 19th, and then October. And that's a 2-day class. So the first day is all business. It's all how to start a business, how to get business, how to stay in business. And then the next portion of that is how to do ladder training, how to do roof safety, and then aerial safety. And then on Sunday is an all-day Christmas lights, how to install Christmas lights on roofs, houses, pillars, all that kind of stuff. And that day will also be, if you are and if you just want to do employee training, we also set that up as you can do it as send your employees, and in that way they will learn all the Christmas light stuff. But again, it is an awesome training. It's very hands-on. We have everything that's going to be chest level. We have a house that's built at chest level, so we can show you how to do all the ladder stuff and everything. And then also, if you want to do pressure washing, it is that day also. You will be annoyed by how many questions I'm going to ask those days. I won't be annoyed, dude. I got Donovan, and he likes to answer lots of questions too. So, only time I got shocked last year was on my own house, and it was because I added lights and had an open end and grabbed it like a ding dong. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Everybody's going to, I always talk about, not having two males on your line, and it happens. All right, question time. Question time. What time? We got done a little early, but that's all right. Let's scroll back up here. I think you might have a class coming up for both pressure washing clean. I need to look into that more. Yeah, if you go to christmaslights.io, I also put a link in the description, or King of Pressure Washing dates. I do have a in-person and for Christmas lights and pressure washing. I believe it's $1,500 for both, and that gives you quite a bit of stuff. So, first year after listening to Jason, haven't done any advertising and already have 3 estimates for over $1,500. Following up tomorrow. That's awesome, dude. Awesome blossom. Jason, I need to remind everyone, please wear eye protection. This happened today. Washer missing out of gun when hooking up to ball valve. Got sprayed right in the face with, oh, that stinks, man. Make sure you flush that out, and make sure that it doesn't get infected, because that could get very bad. And yes, you do, and you had eye protection on. Good. First year for washing and lights, threw out a post on Facebook and got 4 estimates. Crazy. 1 estimate is large development. And that's the thing right now, is for the marketing side of it is, I actually had Jason Murphy on last week for the marketing side, or for Christmas lights, and he's running ads, and he's already closed $30,000 in off of Facebook. So it is a good thing if you can, even if you run them for free, if you've posting that up for free, and that way people will start knowing that you do it, so people can start using that service already. And the beautiful thing about that too is, James, is if you sell a job, you can get the 50% deposit down, and then that way you can go ahead and buy all the lights, and then you have no out-of-pocket cost, because where we're so early, we get that percent down payment, and then that way we can go ahead and buy those lights. So that is pretty cool. I have no idea how to price lights. Um, it is a little tough to price them, to learn how to price them. It's not that hard, but does take some practice. I do go over it how to bid them either in person or online. So those are some things that you can look at. I teach people to bid them between $6 and $8 a foot, depending on where you are. Some people are actually a little bit more than that, and so that's the beautiful thing about them. No money in Christmas lights like money in Florida. The biggest thing is people in Florida. There isn't a lot of people putting up Christmas lights in Florida because everybody is still pressure washing. So while you're still pressure washing, there is no really slow season for pressure washing to slow down. Yes, you're so right, Rob. I'm glad you're okay. You just never know when things may go sideways. I had a freak splash up with a roof mix in the eye. Felt like gravel in there for a week. Be careful. I've done it before. I I was back in my poor days. I was pouring. We were buying bleach by the gallon, and I was pouring it into my 50-gallon drum or 50-gallon tank. And one drop, literally one drop, got up into my good eye, my good eye, and gosh, man, it hurt. It was. I basically covered my good eye and drove home, which was about 15, 20 minutes. And then I just went to bed. I couldn't take it anymore. It was probably lucky I didn't go blind out of the stupid thing because I did the things you're not supposed to do. Do you sell the lights or the service? So we don't sell the lights, we sell the service. We sell the service, and that way, that's what makes it very profitable. The first year we have to buy the materials, but then the second and third and fourth is we don't have to buy the materials no more. So we sell the service that this is a service that we will help you design them, we will install them, we will fix them if they break, and then we will come and take them back down. So this is an all-inclusive service. So that is exactly what you want to do. Jason can reach one. Yeah. You are tall in stature and character, and thank you, sir. So, Big Rob, I'm going to hit a little story on Big Rob here. Big Rob, I put out into my pressure washing group community of about a free ticket to come to the Huge, and actually it had come off of. It had come from Jason Hefner. Jason Hefner won 25 tickets, I believe it was, from the Huge because he is a great listener and he knew how to win tickets. Well, he had won an extra ticket, and so he gave it to me to give away into the group. And so I had told Rob. Rob had sent me a message, and he never really told me if he was coming or not. And I kind of screwed up. And then Andrew with Savannah was trying to find a ticket. And so I told him to get that ticket from Savannah. So Rob's down in at the Huge coming up and finding me. And he's like, "You got my ticket?" I'm like, "I will take care of that for you." So I had to go negotiate me a ticket for Mr. Rob. So Mr. Big Rob got to be able to be at the Huge and learn a lot. And I hope he's taking what he has learned and taking action and kicking butt. So that way, Big Rob is not very big. He's actually fairly short, especially compared to me, but that's all right. But he can do big things. And so he's not very young either. He's kind of older gentleman. And so, this year has been a little bit of a struggle for him, but I think he can do big things. I think he is going to do big things, and he's going to do great things and be very successful at the end of the day. Risk versus reward, and it's cold. Why? That's why we use fiberglass ladders. Actually, I like using the aluminum ladders. It's just because they're lighter, and so that makes it a little bit easier. And if you're not fat like me, you can use the littler light, the ones that were 250-pound weight, and they weigh a little bit less. Mr. Ray's in the house. Are the lights only white color? So most people want warm white, is what this is called. And the reason why they want warm white is because it's elegant. We can do multicolor, but most people like the warm white lights. It's just because that's kind of the nicer looking lights, the lights that look a lot better, and so it's elegant. It's not the Griswold look. I don't understand the pitch. Installing and removing. Do you sell them back at a discount in the following year or to the same customer? So we do it as a service, and when we install the lights this year, we can actually there are lights. We don't sell them the lights, and so when we come back next year, we can bring those lights and put them right back up where they went this year. If they don't buy, well, we can take those lights and put them on another person's house. And yes, we can cut them to the new house, so we can change out who those lights going to and stuff like that. So, and we really don't really give much of a discount. Sometimes I do teach to do a 3-year contract, which will lower our price a little bit each for every year. We'll drop it 10% for 3 years. And so that will also help close. And then we just come back the next year and put them right back up. Luke, so you're going to get all your questions answered. Only time I got shocked, yep. From a power washing customer list, what percentage of those clients do you think be Christmas light customers? About 1%. So pressure washing customers are not, and even maybe landscaping, but pressure washing customers are not really Christmas light customers. A pressure washing you're doing, if your average ticket's $800, our average ticket for this is $1,800, $2,000 is a lot of guys. And so that's not the customer. Now, on the other hand, a Christmas light customer is a pressure washing customer. We sell a lot of pressure washing to Christmas light customers. So that is the beauty of getting those higher end clients. Because you got to remember, we're not going to the slumlords to put up Christmas lights. We're going to houses now around here. Our houses was about 300 to 800,000 was kind of our sweet spot. Now I understand that depending on where you live, that's going to change of what that bottom number is. But and even around here, it's changed a little bit because $100,000 house around here is about a $200,000 house now. So it's all went up. So some of that's going to be skewed a little bit. Is there any templates when hanging lights that clients choose from? We're going to kind of try to steer people the way we want them to go. And so that's going to be kind of where we're going to be at. Remember, sharing is caring. Your chest or everyone else's, Jason. Where to get the lights? If you go to christmaslights.io, there will be a tab that says buy lights. And that will be an affiliate link to the place that I would highly recommend to get lights from. And you're probably not going to get them any cheaper anywhere else from that company. So that is where I would highly recommend to get lights. How many people you need to do for Christmas lights? 3 would be idea. 1 person for answering the phones and taking care of the calls and bidding. And then 1 person installing, 1 person doing it. But you can do it with 2, and there is people out there that do it by themselves. 2 is definitely for the installs, for safety wise, is what I would highly recommend. Because anytime you're on a ladder, you're supposed to have 2 people around. That's just an OSHA rule, and it's a good rule to follow. If you fall off, then at least somebody can call 911 for you. No questions, but I finally finished my pressure washing trailer. That's an awesome accomplishment. That's amazing. That can be troublesome. Oh shoot, I'm late. Mr. Wild Wild West. In the South, you can run RGBs as general holiday light throughout the year. Some people do. I put them on my house and I didn't run them all year. I was supposed to and I didn't. Just ordered 100 Christmas yard signs. I did a red background with white lettering Christmas light installation and phone number. Perfect. Perfect. If at $8 a foot, how much for second story or even third story in those bump out eaves with the windows? Usually that's the $8 a foot is where we're at. If you get a little scared, you can bump up so that way you make more profit. Here in Texas, we just call them party lights and we party year round. Offer pressure washing and lights in nice neighborhoods. Yep, that's what we want. Do you leave out females at the end? Or yes, we put females on all ends. It is not worth not just cutting it off and leaving it there. I have seen gutters get sparked and all kinds of stuff. So it is not worth not putting a 50-cent female on the stupid end of a wire. Yes, it's going to cost you an extra $5 per job, but if you're bidding them correctly at $8 a foot, you're not going to worry about that $5 of safety of not burning somebody's house down. Yep, it was one little drop got into the side of my glasses. Sneaky devil. Do you need special software for designing Christmas lights? No. A lot of people just use your iPhone and use Draw with it. Stop saying I'm short. I'm not too old either. Vertical challenge. Big Rob. Love me some Big Rob. Should I start marketing the Christmas lights now or wait till October 1st? If you're going to run AdWords, you could start running a little AdWords. I do know some people putting out signs. I do know some people putting on some Facebook. So if you're on LinkedIn and Facebook, it would be good to start, announcing it and seeing, kind of letting people know what you do. What up, Mr. Kenny from this? I lived it big and big. Absolutely. David, I've started now. I put out signs in September for early bird specials. Yep. So, also, if anybody would like to buy a skid unit right here, it has a 12 volt now. It's 8 gallon a minute. 50-gallon soap tank, 50-gallon water tank, 150-gallon there. I got a new box. That's going to go on the front here. I got to put it on with the mixer valve and a 12-volt system with another hose reel over here. And so if anybody is looking for a rig and you want one already set up and ready to go, let me know. So, dear Lord, it's still 95 degrees in Florida. It was only 72 here today, 73 degrees. Actually, it got up to 75 degrees today. It was 55 degrees out this morning while I was walking. I had to put a sweatshirt on. You guys down there in Florida would have been froze at 55 degrees. Wouldn't know what to do with 55 degrees. Jason is 7'10". Let's see. My first year, should I start a DBA for Christmas lights? I pressure wash mainly. Yeah, that's what I did. Just do a DBA, and then you can add. Most of the time, you can add Christmas lights to your already existing policy, and so that way it's not so crazy. Spray wash. My dad from Florida is up visiting from Florida. He has hoodie and flannel shirts on every day. It's cold out there right now. Wait till tomorrow. It's going to be even more cold. But how much money minimum to start Christmas lights? 55 degrees, I officially died. You don't need a lot to start up. The biggest thing is because where you're going to take deposits, so that way you can do a deposit and you can get 50% up front. That's what I teach, is to put 50% up front, so that way you can go buy all your lights if you needed to, if you're on a budget. The biggest thing is for marketing and for safety. So I would highly recommend the Goat Assist, Cougar Paws, lights, or ladders. So those are some things that you will need. Thanks for the super chat, Mr. Rob. Um, how do I winterize my skid when it's hooked up to 100 and 150 gallon tanks? What you can do is empty them all the way out, and then I got a video on it. You can do it two ways. You can do RV antifreeze and run that through it. Put it in there, run it. Make sure you're running it through all your lines. You can also blow them out. Make sure everything's disconnected and blowed out, and make sure that you have no water in them, so that way they don't freeze. I personally like the antifreeze way, so that way, if you want to run it, if you get a job or you want to run it, you can empty the antifreeze into a bucket and then put water in it and then go that route. But make sure you get everything out, otherwise it will freeze up and it can blow the pump up and everything. I've made Jason in person. He's a great guy. Yep. Separate Facebook page for Christmas lights. I actually have a Chris. Oh yes, you do want a separate Facebook business page for Christmas lights. It definitely will help you out in the end. And if you can get a separate GMB, Google My Business, that would be another good thing to do. 95 degrees and rain, rain, rain. Yeah, actually, DJ is the guy he's one of my best buds, and he's in Florida right now in Clearwater, and he said it's been raining all the time. I've met Mr. Wild Wild West in person, and he is a great guy. I don't know who you're talking about, but 55 degrees is a real thing. January 1, it's 85. Yeah, your deposits cover the expenses of the lights, and the remaining account balance is your profit. Pretty much so. How Mr. George came to a class last year. How does anybody mount their IBC totes to the trailer? There's a couple ways to do it, George. I've done it with an eye bolt, just an eye bolt that you can screw around the piece. I've used the piece of angle and then screwed into the plastic. I've used a ratchet strap to pull them down. So there's a couple different ways. The best way that I like doing it was putting 4 eye bolts just around the metal bar going around it, and that's worked the best for me. That's how I've always done it. Big Rob giving the finger to Jason. What is a good price for cost of lights? You talking about buying the lights? It's going to depend. You're going to pay depending on how many you buy. If you if you go to christmaslights.io, they have starter packs, and that's what I would highly recommend you to get, is one of their starter packs. It has enough watt. It has you can get them anywhere from, whether if you want to just do your own house or if you want to buy 500 or 1,000 feet. So it comes with the bulbs. It comes with the wire. Comes with the males and females, the clips. It comes with everything you need to put up Christmas lights. Nevada rain here every day. In case anybody is wondering, I just do this for fun. I bow for a living. What's the tallest ladder everyone carries? You can do I always did the 28 foot. There is times you will need the 40 footer if you got some big houses. especially putting up reefs. We get the big dog out for the 40-footer, but it sucks. Hoping to pressure wash until late November. Where are you located at? That will determine on if you're going to do that until late November or not. So on my 8 gallon a minute, 110 buffer count, I am running out of water with poor house pressure. Do I need to lower the engine speed on the washer to lower the flow? Are you got a 3/4 inch hose? Make sure there's not too many restrictions. If you're running through a Hudson float valve, that can actually be a restriction. That can definitely be a restriction. So, and then the only other option is trying to find 2 hoses to run there. If you got bad water, you got bad water, and that sucks because then you need to fill that tank and run around with a full tank if you can. Bowl. Do we know each other? Mr. Third Coast. And then start in February. Feet. Average on a house that you had for lights. Average house for lights is about 150 feet is what the average is. Yeah, I'm not carrying a 40. They suck. I pressure wash from March to November and Christmas lights November to January. Should I go to Hawaii for February or Florida? One of the two. Pick the two. Will a Joe valve fit in the same hole of a Hudson float valve? You have to plumb it up a little different because it's got that bulber on it. So you would have to do. You could do it that way. What you would have to do is do a drop tube, screw it, do an extension, get a 6 inch or get a 6 inch or an 8 inch extension that you could screw up into where that Joe valve 1 inch, and then do a 90, and then put that Joe valve on the 90 because the Joe valve. The Hudson float valve flows down through the Hudson float valve, where the Joe valve would flow down and then in that way. So you would, I know that probably made no sense at all, but you would have to do an extension down to it, what you would have to do. Sorry, is that a trailer or a skid? It is a skid. It is on a trailer right now, on that trailer. That's just this trailer right here was my beginning trailer. That was the beginning of Jason right here. But it is a skid that goes in the back of a truck. Watch Jason's video on internal friction loss. I'm like, what do I do in February? Well, one thing that we did in February is get ready for March. Had to rent a 40-footer 3 times last year. Yeah, they suck. Gas stations, can you do it with cold water or hot only? You can do it with cold water. You need a good degreaser, and you're not going to get much gum up. If it's got gum, then that's going to be an issue. So that is the problem with it. But again, go check out. If you want to check out Christmas lights and learn how to do them, you can go to Christmas lights. You can also go to pressurewashhelp.com/in-person training. It'll take you to the exact same spot. There you will find the dates. Again, it's a 3-day class or a 2-day class, depending on what you want to do. If you just want to do pressure washing, it'll be Friday, Saturday. If you want to do Christmas lights, it's Saturday, Sunday. If you want to do all 3, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it is in September 17th through the 19th. I will be there I'm driving down on Thursday, so I will be there late Thursday and be getting ready on Friday. Donovan has a very nice shop that he has everything. If you do the Christmas light course, $250 of that does go to price of lights. So you can buy, that's enough lights to buy the starter pack. So we'll actually have starter packs there for just a one house. If you want to buy more than $250 worth, then that's a credit of $250 that you can buy more than that. So there is $250 that will get you a starter pack. That's enough. It's about, I think it's 150 lights. It's about 150 feet of lights, all the males and females, all the clips, all of the wire, everything enough to do one house in light. So that is the starter pack. And so that's what we're going to give away when that $250, or if you want to spend more than that, you can spend more than that on whatever you want to buy. So that is the Christmas light side of things. If you have employees and you just want to send employees, you can send employees for the Sunday on Christmas lights, and that way they can learn how to do that. Also, if you want to learn and get 30 days free, you can go to pressurewashhelp.com/free and get 30 days free. Right now, the Christmas light training is in there right now. It will be not very much longer. It will be going away. That ain't what I want. If you want Google Ads, there's Google Ads. That's not the one I was trying to find. I think it's this one here. Pressurewashhelp.com/free. You can get 30 days free. It teaches you everything from marketing. Also, I do marketing Mondays. Every Monday night at 9 o'clock, I do a 30 minutes to 1 hour marketing. And last month, it was all about LinkedIn. It was really cool. I actually learned some more stuff about LinkedIn that I didn't know, because I just study it and try to figure out how I can use it better for myself and how you can use it for yourself. We've had some great success with LinkedIn from them doing that. I know Jason has closed some jobs, and I know Andrew's closed some jobs through LinkedIn, and so LinkedIn is definitely worth it at the end of the day. And so the month of September, I'm actually talking about websites, SEO, and I got a little secret coming out at the end of the month for SEO. Actually, this shirt that I'm wearing right now is the secret to some pretty cool stuff. Let's just put it that way. And and like I say, it's a little shirt. It's got a little face like that on it. And I'm not going to say much more than that. But it is a secret that can help your business grow really well organically and make your website rank. So you want to check that out. That will be the last Thursday of this month. So if you sign up for free, it gives you 30 days. It will at least give you this month. It does have Christmas lights in it right now. The Christmas lights, if you buy it now, will stay, but after christmaslights.io, I get it all up, then I'm not going to be selling it through King of Pressure Washing no more. King of Pressure Washing will be on its own, and Christmas Lights is going to be on its own. So, but you definitely want to make sure you're in those marketing meetings. I'm giving a lot of information to help grow businesses. I've helped some people already just through the marketing stuff learn a lot at the end of the day. So definitely make sure you check those two out. What's the best remedy for oil on driveways? A good degreaser, a really good degreaser. How much light should I buy prior to the season, and when should I order? You can order right now. You'll be fine in the 1st of November. If you start getting busy in the middle of November, that's when you're really going to want to buy, because I believe that last year, actually, we started having a shortage in October. So at the end of October, we were starting the shortage of things being out of stock. So, you may want to buy some stuff. So that's some things. Any classes in Nevada or California? Not as of right now. Not as of right now. And if they make this thing about flying, I don't know if I'll be flying for a while. So I washed 3 gas stations last week with cold water. It does take a good degreaser and some elbow grease, but it definitely worked, and they turned out great. Yep. All the inventory you buy for lighting is a tax business write-off. Amen to that. I have learned a lot from the courses. Awesome, Chris. Daniel, did you use F9 products? I would just use a good degreaser. I've used Purple Power before and had good luck with that. I don't have a Hudson valve. I have a general pump float valve model, and it works great with adequate pressure. The two hose setups would be the best situation. We're LA Awesome. Yep. Big Rob's a member. How much light should I buy prior to, I already answered that. Jason has taught me a lot. Get it now while the getting's good. No Sam's Club Reefs. They usually don't come out till about October. I haven't seen if they're gonna. I mean, there's only been 1 year out of all the years I've been doing it since 2014 that I wasn't able to buy Sam Reefs. So I'm hoping they'll be there. They'll be up. If we order lights from your guy, how long does it take to get to us? I live in Missouri. It doesn't take. It's about 2 days, 2 or 3 days. The supply chain is narrowing down for cheap products, so get them now while you can. And that's the thing. The container prices are getting stupid, so that's going to drive prices up a lot. What up, Jason? I have tripled my revenue from last year. That is amazing. This is a guy that lives in nowhere, Kentucky. Actually, they make horror movies down there where he lives. And that is amazing. Cynthiana, Kentucky. Do you build a truck bed for Christmas lights? Do you build out a truck bed for Christmas lights? No, just throw them back there. The biggest thing is what I did use is a ladder rack. A ladder rack helps out a lot carrying them bad boys. Where is the link for the meetings on the website? They are they're in the membership. You got to go to the membership and you go to the marketing tab, and it's the first one there. It talks about that. Also, this Sunday night will be a Zoom meeting for everyone in the meeting there too. So if anybody wants just and that's just general questions, and that will be this Sunday night too. Purple Power and also brand my local store sells. Yep. Well, awesome guys. I knew this wasn't going to be a lot of people on here. So Google has been restricting me for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's all right. And so we'll see how that goes. But I was going to talk about something else tonight, and I wanted to hit on Christmas lights because Christmas lights is for sure one of those things that a lot of people need to be able to get through wintertime, and it's definitely a way to get through wintertime. So I hope you all have a great night, and see you all later. Jason, are you a sports fan? Not really. I watch my daughter's soccer, and that's pretty much it. Hope you all have a great night, guys.